And, it feels like a funeral to me. I'm sorry. There's some fun things I get to do in my life, and be able to make a living writing fish stories. And the thing that I found about the bass fishing community in general is it's a real aggravating and difficult group at times. And yet, many of my very best friends are from that same group because we share both the hunt and then sometimes the frustration, and once in a while I get to take a picture of the successes. And so I've been very, very fortunate. A year ago I stood very similar place and got some recognition, but you think about what good is a fishing writer without great fishermen? And I've been in the boats. I look around this room. I've been in the boat with a lot of these guys, and they're excellent. And I have learned so much, and that's allowed me to communicate those things. So I thought it'd be appropriate, though, because oftentimes what happens is you wonder in the bass fishing crowd, well, how did this guy get this recognition? Well, I guess if we take out the 25 magazine covers and probably 200 articles and radio shows and TV broadcasts, he really hasn't done anything. But we know him to be, from his era, an absolute legendary performer. I can only think back to my days. I started bass fishing late by today's standards, and I got a job at Western Outdoor News. Pretty marvelous when you think about it. Mr. Twilliger at the time, Bert Twilliger was the owner, and we took a chance on a guy that basically wasn't much more than a glorified gas station attendant. I ran the press for the Orange County Register, and that was about my claim to fame. I had a college degree, but that and $500 to buy a nice suit. So I got the job, and that put me in a position to do things that I never would have imagined. And like I say, the great thing is to be able to fish with the best guys and learn things. And I'm still learning, because many of you get phone calls and I have to figure out why my kill switch doesn't work. So I know that this is an important community event, certainly for the sponsors over the years. Ranger Boats, if you don't mention Mike Folkstad and Ranger Boats in the same paragraph, I'm not doing the job as a writer, so I got that out of the way. And I'm sure if there was a Lawrence guy here, he'd get a piece of me as with Mercury. But what I really wanted to say is, in the early days of bass fishing in Southern California, we were in a position that doesn't exist anymore. There was a vacuum of knowledge. When Mike Folkstad came on the scene, he was kind of this mysterious, handsome, and terrific fisherman that really, even though he was in Orange County and first made his name down in San Diego. And I remember even in my club days wondering, how can this guy keep catching these fish? He knows something that we don't know. And so it wasn't really for a decade or more that I actually progressed enough in my career that I could get in the boat with the guy. And we've become really good friends, I would say, over the years. And we've done so much. But let me read some of this criteria here, because it's to me what makes this presentation so significant. There you are. And these are the category guidelines for induction into the Freshwater Fishing Hall of Fame, located in Hayward, Wisconsin. First, performed a lasting achievement of regional impact in freshwater sport fishing. Demonstrated skills or provided efforts which stand out among other anglers or others who contributed to the advancement of freshwater sport fishing. Enhance the enjoyment of freshwater sport fishing for others through development of techniques or technologies or contributions to freshwater sport fishing, and provided energy, talent, and dedication which promote and or benefit freshwater sport fishing. Over the many many years that I've been doing this, I think Mike, and especially in the generation in which he has performed the greatest part of his many accolades and other accomplishments, that he stands out in all of these regards. It's a unique period between 1960 and 2000. We don't have that instantaneous media that we have today. It's, at best, if I fished with one of you or with Mike for Western Outdoor News, at best, you were not going to read about it till the following week. In cases of magazines, you were not going to read about it in possibly the following month or possibly 3 months. So it's a totally different package today. Things are instantaneous. So in that regard, as Ronnie Kovac had said earlier, always willing to give whatever he could. And really, I found out with Mike, if you just ask him the questions, even if he hasn't thought about the answer, he will let you know. So I am here today, as a friend, and I appreciate him asking, but I'm here on behalf of the Freshwater Fishing Hall of Fame, and I would like to present thus far. Well, please come up here, Michael. On behalf of the Freshwater Fishing Hall of Fame and Museum in Hayward, Wisconsin, 2013, inducted as a legendary angler, Mike Folkstad, for outstanding achievement in the realm of freshwater sport fishing. Michael. And of course, the man who always likes a microphone. Let me hand it to him. There you go.
I don't know about that. I'm used to getting up and talking about how I caught the fish. So this is a little different for me. Well, when I got the call that I got inducted into the Freshwater Fishing Hall of Fame, I kind of got choked up, and my first thoughts went to my dad about, how proud my dad would be, because bass fishing from the 40s and 50s has come so far. It's unbelievable to him that you can make a living fishing. He always used to tell me that I should be a sports writer. There was a sports writer named Jason Lucas that wrote for Field and Stream and Outdoor Life, and that's all we had back in those days. But no way, I can't. I'm no good in English. I hate English. I'm all right in math, so that ain't going to happen. So I just kept fishing and grew with the sport and been able to pay for my fishing and have done well. It's come a long ways, but I have a lot of people to thank. First, I'd like to thank Anglers Marine for letting us use their space, and Rick and everybody with Anglers. I just ordered my 39th boat, 39th Ranger in 38 years. And Mercury Motor, and Lawrence Electronic, and I'm with Daiwa Rods and Reels, and RoboWorm, the Folkstad Special, which everybody kind of knows. And I may have forgot somebody, but after that, I got to thank my wife, Vicki. She's always there for me, supports me 100%, and especially when I'm winning, for some reason she always shows up. And then I have to go on probably to another tournament or stay a few days, and she says, "Honey, do you want me to deposit the check?" And I say, "Okay." But then when I get home, there's the problem. I got a new pool, new furniture, TV, something, But I'm just kidding, it's all mutual. So she's always there 100%, and I love her for that. Well, next is Tammy Curtis, who always travels with me, and Todd. She's sort of my PR lady and does all my visibility, and I film her with her TV show Fishing for Fun. When she needs filming, sometimes I co-host, and so she's done an awful lot for me visibility-wise. And then, of course, George Kramer. We've been friends for 40 years. I've known George, and if people don't know it, he's pretty much, him and Michael Jones are the dart head gurus. If people don't know that, they are. they brought dark fishing here in the West. They're the ones that got it started. But me and George have had many front covers and many articles. But I have to confess, there is a few times when I've had to hold up George's fish. Now, we've never told anybody this, but it's time for me to fess up that once in a while he catches a big one. So thank you for that, George. And then I have Ron Kovac, who has become great friends. And you know what I remember with Ronnie is the first time I fished with him, the way my luck goes, I caught a couple of 9-pounders, and that started our relationship. And then a little bit later, we went out and I caught a 12 and a 16-pounder, and he got me a front cover in Bassmasters. And you know, we just sort of grew from that. And so he's been a great fan and a great promoter. And then I go out with Bradley Swike, who's the editor for One Bass, first time we go out together. So I catch one about 8.5 pounds. About 5 casts later, Bradley rolls in a 9.5, you know. So we had a great first day fishing, but that's the way my luck kind of goes. And then I have Kent Brown with Ultimate Bass Fishing Radio. He's always got my back and has done a lot for me. And then besides that, we have Bill Mays and Bill Rice and Jody Only and Michael Jones. You know, they've all done some articles, but I'm not as close with them. So I need to thank them for that. And then me and Gary Robson, we go back 40 years, and he nicknamed me Pud. I don't know why. Still calls me Pud. For putty. It's for putty, because sometimes, you know, I'm pretty sharp, but sometimes I'm pretty putty, I guess. But me and Gary have spent a lot of family time together with our families fishing back in the old days. We fished Pisces Bass Club together. We used to fish Skinner and Elsinore, and so we've had a lot of good times. And then next, Al Tatum, who Al I've known 40 years, and he's from San Diego, and as far as I'm concerned, he's one of the best in San Diego. And we still fish together at the El Cajon Ford tournament, and we're still real close. And I've learned a lot from Al. He always says he learns from me, but I've probably learned more from Al than he's learned from me. Then I have Randy Best. And me and Randy traveled for years fishing U.S. bass, One Bass. Randy was more of a power fisherman, spinnerbait, and I was more deep water structure, so we always told each other what was going on, and it's helped me a lot. I learned a lot from Randy, and so we had a real good relationship. We never got any arguments, never fought, fished the same water, never encroached on each other, but we could be straight up with each other. And so that was a great relationship for quite a few years, but Randy's kind of retired now. If he was still fishing, he'd probably be staying up here. And then I have Chuck English, who I went to school with since I knew Chuck since I was 15. And we've done a lot of fishing together and had a lot of great times. And we both kind of had wives that were in the same sorority. And we got a lot of history, and just nice to see Chuck again. He doesn't fish much anymore, just for fun. So we kind of drifted apart because of the tournament fishing that I do. But he's been a great friend. I can't tell any stories about Chuck because there's too many that I probably shouldn't talk about in mixed company. And then, of course, there's Jay Hawk. You know, he's a good friend. He's always there for me. And I love Jay. If I need something, Jay's the man to call. He's the first one to step up and give me a boat or whatever I need or help me out. So thanks for everything, Jay. Then I have Bobby and Billy Nelson, who used to fish with me. They were my co-anglers and stuff. Matter of fact, I think Bobby might have been 15 or 16. You know, and his dad asked me if I would take him under my wing and teach him, and I did, and I had a lot of great times with Billy and Bobby. But I have one story about Bobby. We're at Lake Roosevelt, and we're all in this cabin sleeping. So I get up in the morning, I go over to brush my teeth, and I yell, "Bobby!" He had borrowed my toothbrush because there was Copenhagen little flecks all over my toothbrush. And he tried to say, "It wasn't me, it wasn't me." But it was him. Now, there's a lot of other stories. I won't talk about them either. So, but Bobby always had Thanks, Bobby. And of course, you know, then there's my son Troy, and I remember when Troy was about 13, we'd go to El Cap, and we scope out our anchors on the hot rocks close to the dam at El Cap, and we're fishing Lindy swipes 7-inch. So my son, he puts on this total chartreuse one, and I'm telling him, that ain't no good, you know. And he winds up smoking them that day and weighs about a 25-pound limit, and I got about 15 pounds. So. And then Troy, you know, he's a big bass fisherman. He's showed me a lot on fishing for bass when they're bedding and, you know, how they act, so I've learned a lot from him. And then I have Darren, my younger son, who whenever we go fishing, he always catches the big one. I catch all the little ones, and he always catches the big bass of the day, so we have a lot of fun. And then I have Bobby DeLuna, my nephew, who's here. And Bobby, I took him fishing. He was just a little boy at Lake Mojave. And I caught an 8-pounder that day, and Bobby caught a few bass, and he's been fishing ever since. He just loves bass fishing. The one thing I want to say is I really feel this. I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for all my friends and the sports writers and the things that they've done for me, because especially the sports writers, they make you bigger than life. You know, I'm really, the people that have fished with me, they really know I'm not that good. You know? I catch a few fish, but I fish a lot. And so just thanks for the memories and, you know, just so much, all the memories. And I'll see you on the water.